Hi, Alexis again. Welcome on this new video on the Beaujolais wine region. The first thing I want to say about the wines from this region is that the big majority of the wines they are red. In Beaujolais, red is king, okay? The red wine is 99% of the total productions. And all these red wines, they are made with the Gamay grape variety, okay? And the remaining 1%, that's the whites, made with the Chardonnay. So we will focus on the red wines on this video. Let me show you the map of the Beaujolais region. So you can see that the Beaujolais is located on the east of France. And the region is located between the Burgundy region in the north and the city of Lyon in the south. And if you visit the city of Lyon, or if you visit the region, I really recommend to visit the Beaujolais. That's a lovely, beautiful region. Okay, let's come back to the wines. First, I want to give you the main characteristics of the wines in the Beaujolais. Well, first, the Gamay grape gives reds full of red fruits flavors. Lots of red fruit flavors in these wines. Raspberry, cherry, strawberry flavors, and sometimes with a little peppery and smoky notes. And the Gamay gives also wines with very light tannins, very small tannins, okay? So the Gamay grapes is responsible for the style of these wines, but also the winemaking process, the way they make the red wines. It's called the carbonic maceration, so I don't want to enter into much details, but this winemaking process allows very low tannins. So if you like red wine with little tannins, that's an interesting region for you in France, okay? Usually we split the Beaujolais wines in two categories. The first category is the category for the wines labeled as Beaujolais or Beaujolais Nouveau, and the second category is for the wines labeled as Beaujolais Villages or the Cru du Beaujolais. So I suggest we start with the first category, the Beaujolais wines and the Beaujolais Nouveau. First, that's the majority, okay? Beaujolais and Beaujolais Nouveau, that's the majority of the wines in the region. Again, fruity wines, simple wine, easy to drink, very light, and cheap, not expensive wines. And usually these red wines, they are made for early drinking. We don't age these wines, and especially the Beaujolais Nouveau wines. So I'm sure you might have heard about the Beaujolais Nouveau. Beaujolais Nouveau is a wine released every third Thursday of November, approximately 2 months after the harvest. That's a very young wine. And the Beaujolais Nouveau used to be a very popular tradition in France, and everybody was expecting this release of these new wines in November. But this fashion now has really decreased, and the Beaujolais Nouveau seems to have largely passed because of the low quality of these wines and of most Beaujolais Nouveau. So it's still important if you come to Paris in November, during this third week of November, but after a few days it's just finished, okay? So Beaujolais Nouveau, try this if you come to France in November, but don't age any Beaujolais Nouveau, okay? That was the first category, so simple, easy wine, easy to drink. And now we're coming to this second category, which is, I think, the most interesting for the wines. The second category, the Beaujolais Villages plus the Cru du Beaujolais. The first thing to mention on this second category is that all the wines that are produced in the north and in the west part of the region, in the small mountains, small hills. And all these wines of this second category represent approximately 25% of a bit more than the Beaujolais production. The Beaujolais villages first, it's 39 villages in the Beaujolais region are allowed to label the wines with Beaujolais villages. Only this number of villages, and the wines, they are produced on soils. They come from the vineyards come from soils of granitic soils, and these rocks, these soils, give some very interesting fruity wines with a little small complexity, nice character. And then we have the Cru du Beaujolais, the Beaujolais Cru. There are 10 of them, so you have the list right here, and Saint-Amour, Fleury, Morgon, Brouilly, Juliénas, Chenas, or you can read all these different names. And they are, I think, the most interesting wines in the Beaujolais region. And each cru, each of the 10 cru, each cru is an appellation by itself. So if you pick up one of these cru, you will not see Beaujolais on the label, but you will see the name of the cru plus appellation contrôlée. Okay. If you look for a cru, a wine a bit more with maybe more body and with stronger flavors and more powerful, I would say, I would recommend that you try a Moulin Vent or a Morgon. And these two Cru du Beaujolais, usually you can age even them a few years. And recently I had a Morgon from 1971, and I was surprised. That was nice. That was really nice. Okay. Brouilly, it's very easy to find. That's the most widely available Cru du Beaujolais. So try one of these cru. That's the most interesting red wines in the Beaujolais, made always with the Gamay grape. Look, I have with me a bottle of Morgon. I think that's maybe my favorite appellation in the Beaujolais. So I will show you the label. It's not written Beaujolais on it. You see only the Morgon notation appellation. Okay. And last thing I want to say about these Beaujolais cru, these wines, and this bottle is a 2015. And if you want to buy a Beaujolais or try a Beaujolais, try to get a 2015. That was a very huge vintage with perfect conditions. So the Cru du Beaujolais from this vintage are really, really good. Okay. So thank you for listening. Remember, in general, red wines from the Beaujolais regions in styles light with low tannins, and the most interesting are the 10 Cru du Beaujolais. If you have any question, don't hesitate to send me an email, and I would be happy to answer any question you may have. Bye bye, and see you on another video. Cheers.